According to the plea, punishments be assessed at 2 years in the prison. State recommends community supervision. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent? Did you understand? Did you understand that to be the entirety of your plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense is at the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State is at the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
With sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We ask that you follow the recommendation, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Your Honor, we have had contact with the complainant. They've made it clear they are not interested in supporting the district attorney's office in prosecution. As a note to the court.
Okay, all right. So you want to explain to me why you're hitting her with the Lysol can?
I wasn't in the right state of mind, and
What does that mean?
we were both arguing, and that was just the closest thing to me, and I ended up just throwing it at her, and I just at the time I wasn't like I said, I wasn't in the right frame of mind. There was drinking involved, and we just
That's not what mentioned anywhere in the police report that there was drinking involved. What it says is she states you didn't live with her, that you all had broken up, that she was work and she called you over to help watch the children until she returned home from work. So I don't think she's drinking at her job unless her job is to drink at her job.
she had drinks after work, and then she came home.
No. And then it says when she came home, she thanked you. Thank you so much, Robert, for helping to look after the children that are your biological children. That's not in there. I'm just adding that as commentary. And advised that you could leave. She said, thank you, Robert, for helping to watch the children while I was at work. You may now leave. And it said that you did not want to leave. You wanted to fix the relationship. So she said, okay, fine. You can stay the night, but you're going to have to sleep in the living room. And she said that while she was sleeping in her room, you kept coming in and out of her room, pleading with her to fix the relationship. And she said the final time you came in the room, you were aggressive. You punched her in the stomach and held her down and grabbed a nearby Lysol can. And then you struck her multiple times on the head and face with the can, causing numerous injuries to her head and face. Robert stopped when she began to bleed heavily and apologized. I'm sorry for hitting you several times over your head with this Lysol can. So that wasn't a throwing of a can. You were actively hitting her with the can. And it says Gwen had visible injury to her head. So why are you hitting her with a can of Lysol?
I know it's not in the report, but like I said, I'm gonna say it again. She was drinking before she came home.
And you probably were angry.
I was drinking with her when she came home, because she came home, she was already drunk, and then she wanted to drink more. So I agreed. I went to the store, bought more. We drank together. And yeah, you're right. I was trying to fix the relationship, and we both just started bringing up the past, and we started getting mad at each other. And basically, like, we started getting physical with each other, and like I said, I wasn't in the right frame of mind, and I just, I couldn't think straight because of the fact that, like I said, we were drunk, and I couldn't stop myself at the time. And now I just ever since I came back to jail, I've picked up the Bible again, and I just been trying to repent as much as I can.
Why are you always picking up the Bible in the jail? Why don't you pick up the Bible if you're going to pick it up in the free world?
That's what I plan on doing. If I'm granted probation, I plan on going to attending a church and getting as much help as I can.
Well, I can tell you,
volunteer work, anything.
what I can tell you is this relationship is over. I'm not going to allow you to have contact with her. That's it. It's done. It's over with. If she wants to have contact with him, then she needs to come to the court and explain to the court why she wants contact with him. If they have children together, which it appears they do have children together, then that's where your grandparents, I'm assuming your mom is still alive.
Yeah,
All right. Do you have contact with your mother?
here and there, but it's kind of rocky.
Well, do you have anybody in your life where your relationship with them is not rocky?
Just my grandma.
All
That's
right.
it.
So contact with the children, if there is going to be some kind of custody exchange, that needs to be done through third parties. Because how old are your children?
My youngest just turned 2 in January, and my second oldest is gonna be 4 in October.
All right. And so are these the only children who were at the location?
Um, my my youngest, we have an open adoption with him, so he's with another family.
So the 2-year-old is with another,
The 2-year-old is with another family, so he wasn't there. My 3-year-old was at the time he was asleep.
so you have a 3. Okay, this report says you were over there to watch their children. So how many children?
Just the one.
Or why does it say their children? There has to be more than one child if they're using the term their children. Children is plural.
No, I have 2 children with her, and one of them, my youngest, he's in an open adoption.
So
he's with another
did that
family.
happen recently?
No, it happened when he was born.
All right, so let me explain to you. This is why I'm asking that question. It says that Gwen called you over to help watch over their children. It doesn't say to help watch over their child. So you're saying that when you went over to watch over children, it was really only one child? All right, and what was that child's age?
3, he's 3 right now, gonna be 4.
So, and here's my other question. Why, according to you, why are you and the mother of that child getting intoxicated when you have a 3-year-old who's 100% dependent on you all?
Like I said, just
And then
we
fighting.
weren't thinking, and we obviously weren't good for each other. So,
And why was your other child adopted out?
because at the time, I had just lost my job, and like basically we couldn't support him.
All right, and is she the mother of the child? So I'm assuming, and this is just me assuming, I'm assuming that you all know where children come from and how they're made. Why do y'all then keep doing this when you are having children that you know you can't afford to have, and you all just keep engaging in activities and not thinking of any consequences?
I honestly don't have an accurate answer for that. All I could say is just poor choices.
All right, court is going to find you guilty, sentence you to 2 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 2 years. There's going to be proof of employment. When's the last time you had employment and what did you do?
I was a bartender at Fat Tuesdays.
All right, you're not going to be allowed to be a bartender. You have an alcohol problem. So it's going to be proof of employment within 45 days. There should be no employment as a home health care provider with minors or working in any industry or any restaurant where their sole source of income is alcohol, and you're not allowed to be a bartender. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing in this court: to be successful on probation, communication is key. If there's an issue, let your probation officer know. If you feel as though they're not addressing it, you can always come back to the court and I will make sure it is addressed. Do you understand? And your relationship with her is over. If there's an issue with the children, you need to communicate through a third party. You're not to have any contact with her. You are not to go to her house. If she shows up to your house, it would probably be in your best interest to call the police and say, hey, I have a no contact order with this person and they're showing up to my home. Because if you all do this thing, which sometimes people do, they decide, oh, we're going to live together. We're just not going to tell the court about it. You know what ends up happening? There ends up being an argument. Then the next thing you know, that person is calling the police. They're going to see that you have a no contact order in place And that's going to be the end for you. You understand? All right, good luck. Thank you.
Judge, if I may.
Yes.
Briefly, I believe the CW did an affidavit to the states, told them that she had no interest in going forward.
Yes.
He accepted this probation offer. I know that I explained above the line, below the line. He
Mhm.
was really hoping to get out. If you could reconsider the TAP in custody.
That's what I was gonna ask you about too, if possibly I can get the TAP evaluation on release at the probation.
They'll do the TAP because the TAP may end up recommending that you go to inpatient treatment. I don't know. It's obvious to the court that you have a major drug and alcohol issue, or you say just a alcohol issue, because anytime you get in an argument with someone who's the mother of your children and you pick up a Lysol can and you start hitting her over the head with it, and then you tell me you were not in the right frame of mind. And for you, the right frame of mind or not being in that right frame of mind was I was using alcohol and we both brought up things from the past. That's an issue for the court. And I want to make sure that you have any treatment that you need. It's 2 weeks. All right. And counsel, if for some reason that TAP is not done in 2 weeks, if you come back, then I'll consider releasing him.
Yes, Judge.
All right. Thank you. Hello. Hi. Why is it always an issue with getting you to come over from the jail? Because do you know, I get orders where people want me to sign them. And here's the thing, and he'll tell you, I've been a defense attorney before, and I've had clients who don't want to come to the jail or they don't want to do certain things. And I always tell my client, at the end of the day, if you're supposed to be in court and you don't want to come and the deputies bring you, who's going to end up winning that fight? Somebody may end up getting tased. Somebody may end up getting bruised. And guess what? It's not going to be the deputies. So when you're ordered to come over, just come over. Okay. Yes.
When you said getting tased, you looked at me and I was.
No, you're not going to be tased unless you're going to. I mean, some attorneys have gone to the mat for their clients. So when you're ordered to come over, there's a reason why you're being brought over. It's to take care of your case. And at the end of the day, I don't think if this ends up going to trial, I don't think you want to go to trial with your attorney having never spoken to you or you've ever been in court to question certain things about discovery. You understand? All right. So where are we, counsel?
Just so you know, Judge, I've met with her while in custody. We have not had any issues. And I know that my understanding, came here willingly without issue today.
Yes.
In regards to discovery, I had significant issue trying to get discovery.
Mhm.
I believe I finally have received it. I
Okay.
need time to go through it. I did confer with my client last week, conferred with the state today. And they made us an offer, but there's some work I need to get done in order
Okay.
to even consider what I would recommend to my client.
All right. So this is what we're going to do. Ms. Ferguson, give me a 30-day reset.
August 22nd?
All right. So we're going to come back on August 22nd. You need to be here. All right. And that's going to be your plea deadline date. On that date, you need to let me know whether or not you worked out an agreement with the state. If you have not worked out an agreement, then what will happen is your next date will be your jury trial date. Okay. All right.
May I apologize to the court? I was having issues with my attorney. We just were
Not this one, correct?
not this,
Okay.
and it was communication issue. So I, thanks for.
All right. I accept your apology, but see, here's the issue. How do I know there's communication issues with your attorney that you're telling me if you don't come to court? All I know is you're not coming to court and you're about to be forced to court. You understand? So don't do that again. Okay. All right. Is there anything else?
No, Judge.
All right. We'll be back on August 22nd. That will be the plea deadline date.
All right, thank you,
Your
Judge.
excuse.
Thank you.
Thank you. And are you Mr. Javier Zepeda III?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision,
Yes,
and states motion to supplement pending motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them?
yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Javier Zepeda III who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2018 CR 9274W for the offense of assault family second offense on September 5th, 2018 for a period of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Violated condition number 5 in Bear County, Texas, the defendant Javier Cepeda III did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer in person for the months of May 2020, June 2020, and July 2020 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True. The state will waive and abandon the other allegations in the motion.
All right, any objections?
No objection.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes, ma'am.
Court would find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there an agreement?
Your Honor, there's not exactly an agreement. The state is recommending that the defendant be revoked and sentenced to 5 years, but I believe defense has their own request for the court.
All right, defense, what are you requesting?
My client, his family, his employer, and I are requesting that he be allowed to do inpatient, to be allowed an electronic monitoring device, and to continue on probation. We would not be opposed to extending them as long as it's physically possible. And we have witnesses, we have some testimony we think the court will find relevant.
All right, probation?
Your Honor, this case expired in 2021. So an extension of probation at this time would not be an option.
Yes.
I understand, Your Honor. We have in the courtroom today, Mr. Joe Ricky Naranjo, his employer.
Mhm.
We have his mother, and we have his father. The problem here is that this man has been a heroin addict, Your Honor, and he's trying to bring that under control. Even while he had absconded, he has been going to get methadone. He's been going to the methadone clinic. And his mother's a witness to the fact that she takes him every day to the methadone clinic. And the father is here to testify that he himself has been on methadone for 10 years and is supporting his family and has a full-time job, is a supervisor, and he's a methadone user, and that's how he fights his cringes. And this young man is taking methadone.
So this is the question. Here's the thing. These are the answers I need to make an appropriate decision in this case. Now, even though I cannot extend you, I can find you guilty, and I can give you regular probation, but there are questions that I have that need to be answered.
Yes, ma'am.
And those questions are going to be, where has he been? And what has he done on probation?
Tell the court what program.
Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record, please.
Javier Cepeda III.
All right, off the record for a moment. Could I see the, all right, we're back on the record. So where have you been?
I've been working, ma'am, and staying with a family member. I actually have 3 jobs.
All right, so you were in felony drug court
Yes, ma'am.
and you didn't do well. Felony drug court is a good program. And what I have is that you were sent to felony drug court. You were placed in ISF. You were returned back to felony drug court. And by the end of April 2020, you were testing positive for opiates and marijuana. You continued to use drugs. You were not in compliance with felony drug court outpatient treatment. And then you stopped reporting. And then you contacted your case manager. And I'm aware of all the parties in felony drug court because I used to be an attorney in felony drug court.
Yes, ma'am. I'm aware of that.
You contacted her in July 2020. You requested help.
Yes, ma'am.
So they arranged for you to go to detox, go to Center for Healthcare Services, and then be transitioned to lifetime residential treatment upon detox.
Yes, ma'am.
You entered detox, then you left detox.
Yes, ma'am.
Then a warrant was issued for you, and then you stopped communicating with felony drug court.
Yes, ma'am. I got scared.
Well, no,
I had a kid on the way, so I made a
don't
stupid
use that
choice.
fear thing with me. And let me just tell you why I don't use the fear thing with me, because I'm reading this and felony drug court. I know how they work. When people relapse, they don't immediately cut you off.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's evidenced by the report that I'm reading, that they gave you chance after chance. They sent you to detox. So you leaving detox, don't try to use your child as an excuse. I had a baby on the way, because that wasn't the reason why you left detox. You left detox because it got hard and you wanted to use, and you're continuing to use. So do not use your child as an excuse for why you are not clean and sober.
Yes, ma'am.
So I don't believe there's anything that I can do for you, because felony drug court has tried it all. You absconded from felony drug court and they still accepted you back after you absconded. They were giving you help, and then you absconded again. And I understand that there comes a point in time in people's lives where they're like, okay, now I'm ready to do it. But at some point in time, the court can't continue working with people who don't want to be worked with. And your problem is your chances to be worked with have elapsed. There is no chance to be worked with. You're going to have to do it on your own.
If when he wasn't reporting, he was taking methadone to make sure he did not go down the spiral. He was trying, and his family's here to say that they worked with him with that.
But all he had to do was pick up the phone and call felony drug court. Have you read? I'm going to read this to you. You've been an absconder for almost 3 years. As an amended condition of probation due to a motion to revoke, Mr. Zepeda was placed in the felony drug court program on January 24th, 2019. That was me who did it. It says, Mr. Zepeda struggled to anchor in with outpatient treatment and admitted a drug relapse. And I can tell you, when I placed you there in 2019, I had to call them and say, please accept him. I know y'all are booked and don't have room for him, but he's on the edge. Can you please accept him? And they did. And then it says, as a graduated sanction, they placed you in the Bexar County ISF program on October 30th, 2019, and you completed it on March 3rd, 2020. You returned to the felony drug program, and by the end of April 2020, you were testing positive for opiates and marijuana. Mr. Zepeda steadily declined into further drug use and non-compliance with the felony drug court program rules and outpatient treatment. Mr. Zepeda fell off the grid and stopped reporting for the months of May and June of 2020. Mr. Zepeda contacted his felony drug court case manager in July 2020 and requested help to regain sobriety. She arranged for you. They didn't say, oh, we're going to revoke you. We're going to send you back to the 187. She said, we're going to get you into detox. So they sent you to the Center for Healthcare Services. And then they said, after that, after detox, you're going to go into lifetime residential treatment. And you entered detox on January 7th, 2020. You stayed there for 2 days. They said a couple of days. In my mind, that means 2. And you left. A judge's warrant was issued for you on July 13th, which tells me when you left on July 7th, they still gave you chances to get back in line. And then it says you stopped communicating with all felony drug court team members and you remained a fugitive. And what I can tell you, in felony drug court, there are attorneys there who always say, let's try to get them back in compliance. Let's try to find them. They have officers who are trying to get you back in compliance, caseworkers, the counselors, everybody's probably on your phone calling you, calling your family. And you just left. I can't do anything for you. You're going to have to get the treatment on your own. I'm going to find you guilty. The only issue is how much time. The state is asking for 5 defense. What are you requesting?
3 would be fair.
Okay. All right. This is what the court is going to do. The court is going to find you guilty. The court is going to sentence you to 3 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. I'm going to ask for the therapeutic community. Therapeutic community does not increase your time in custody, but if you're serious about getting clean and sober, you need to request that. I can't order it. There's a $500 fine, time and money to run concurrent. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. All right, we can go off the record. If you have a child, you need to do better. You have family here who's supporting you, you need to do better.
Yes, ma'am.
You need to pick up the phone because I know felony drug court gave you the tools you need in order to stay clean and sober. It's just a matter of you using them. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.